You're alive. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is now Wednesday, October 28th. Wow. Can you believe that? It's already almost November. That's crazy. Halloween is around the corner. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to do. But today, obviously, we got to focus on our stretches because that's what we're here for. My coffee and water are already finished because it's way too far to keep reaching over all the time. And yeah, of course, we have a little surprise in the background somewhere if you find it, and I will tell you by the end of the episode if you haven't figured it out. So what we're doing today, it's not quite 9 o'clock, so we're going to sit for another minute and just talk, right? Talk about the weather and the gloominess that's out there. And listen, you got to fight it, right? And how do you fight it? That's the question. It's about doing and getting out, right? So even a rainy day, you'd be surprised how much going for a walk or a drive in a rainy day changes your mindset, right? Being trapped in one place for too long is not good for you, right? Even prisoners are allowed to go outside for an hour, right? So don't stay trapped in your house all day. Take an hour, just go for a drive, go get a coffee, do nothing. Just drive around the block, listen to music, listen to an interesting story on the radio, have a chat, go see something new, or even better, go for a walk, grab a nice big umbrella, dress up warm, right? We're Canadians, we're not afraid of this weather, right? Especially in Quebec. I mean, forget it. I think Quebec's got it worse than, except for maybe Northwest Sartreuse, but boy, do we go through some winters, right? So we know how to handle this stuff. So get out there and get some energy. Okay, so here we go. 9 o'clock, we're going to start our stretches. Okay, we're going to start today top down. I know yesterday we did, or Monday we did bottom up, but we're switching it around. Again, sorry I wasn't here yesterday, guys. Had a little test to do, a little stress test for the old heart, flying colors, so everything's good. All right, so here we go. We're going to work on the shoulders. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to do some shoulder circles. Here we go. Or shoulder rolls, I should say. All right, roll them forward. There we go. A few that way and a few that way. Now I go fast, but you can take your time. Right? Because you really want to focus on the movement. If you got to go fast and you're doing these tiny little things, no good, right? I'd rather you take your time and try to make as big a circle, big a roll as you can get. Good. Now the other way again. Right? Because it's a stretch, not really an exercise. We don't need much of a break in between. So like I said, let's do 5 big ones. There we go. Perfect. Good stuff. How'd that feel? Good? Do you like me every once in a while you get a tingle out of that? Yeah, those are great. I love those. All right. So now we're going to stretch out the neck. Now remember, when you're stretching at the neck, the spinal cord, the base of the skull is activated and there is movement there. But really, where you get the tension when you have a sore neck, it's usually the muscle, right? We usually go like this, right? So we want to stretch these guys out. So first one we're going to do is we're going to go forward. So we're going to bring that chin, right? We're not squeezing it down into the neck. We're bringing it forward so that we let the muscles in the back and base of the neck stretch. Good. Good, just like that. Very simple. Now we're going to go to the side, right? And again, when we go to the side, we're not crushing. We're not trying to get the squeeze here because it's not about this side. It's about this side. I want a nice, even stretch. And you'll feel it pulling basically from your ear all the way down to about just before your shoulder. Good. Other way. Nice. Remember, we relax into this stretch. We get there, we relax. All right. Now we're going to do one advanced one. We're going to bring our chin, and we're going to try to aim it for the armpit, but we're still going to get that push, right? We're not squishing, right? We're still letting it go forward. So now you're getting 3 or 4 muscles up there. You're getting the trapezius, the levator spinatus, which are in the back of the neck. You're doing great. Perfect. Other side. And so once we get there, then we can relax. Good. Good. So relaxing again, guys. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's important because you have what's called a stretch reflex, which gets built up as kinetic energy whenever you stretch out a muscle. You need to let it out, right? I mean, that was an aggressive breath, right? It doesn't be that intense, but you know what I mean. All right, here we go. So we're going to put the arms back behind the head. We're going to stretch out the shoulders, back straight. And we're going to bring those elbows back as much as we comfortably can. And once we feel that tension, you see it's opening up the chest and the shoulders. And once we're comfortable, we... Good. Just like that. Remember, back's got to be straight. Perfect. Now we bring it back nice and slow. Good. How'd that feel? I mean, it's important, right? We got to open, again, we open up the chest cavity. It helps us breathe. We open up the shoulders to avoid the internal rotation because all of us, like I said, from the time we were in elementary school, it was hunched over a desk and doing this, right? So most people, the majority of society, have issues with their shoulders being too far forward. And so we want to just encourage that opening up. If you can really get it back and still be able to relax, then great. Get as back as you can go. Nice. Good. Good stuff. Doing great. All right. So we're going to do the forearms, right, to make sure we avoid any carpal tunnel. Speaking of working at desks, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep our elbows up, palms together, and we're just going to bring it down until the point you feel that you see your palms want to spread apart. Once you feel that they want to come apart, that's as far as you should go. And then you just, again, relax into that stretch. Right? So someone who, like a guy like me as an example, right? I lift a lot of heavy weights. So my muscles are obviously tighter than someone who does sort of more mobility stuff. So it's, you know, everyone's very different. There are some people some people naturally double jointed. They'll be able to like flip their hands upside down in craziness. But what's funny is someone you see who's double jointed. Give you a little funny story. So someone who's double jointed, what it is, they're not actually double jointed. It's not really a thing. It's just a term. It means that their tendons and ligaments are very supple, right? So they're very, very loose. They have problems later in life. So they seem flexible when they're young, but later in life, they have problems with their joints because they're too loose, right? The tendons and ligaments aren't strong enough to let the muscles do the work. The joints are taking all the pain, so they actually suffer a little bit later in life. So just to show that wherever stage you're at, right, we all have stuff that we're dealing with. So don't feel bad. Don't think that, well, that one thing that Chris does, I can't do, or I see people on TV or Instagram doing this and I can't do that. Don't worry about it. Because we all have something that we're dealing with. All right, so we're going to do a snake charmer. We're going to work out here, right, these transverse abdominis, and we're going to work out the erector spinatus in the lower back. So we're just going to turn. So again, keeping our hips straight, our feet straight. This here stays where it is, right? And we don't push. We slowly come to one side. And once we reach that point where we feel stretching, because you will feel stretching, deep breath. Good. Just like that. Now back to the middle. Good. Back. Good. And then back to the middle. Good. So I'm going to do it from a side angle so you can kind of see, right? So you got to see that back up nice and straight, right? And as you turn, yes, you're getting that rotation in the back, you see. And that's what we want. Good, you guys are doing great. And the other way. Remember, it doesn't have to be extreme, but you have to keep that back straight, right? No slouching. Jeez. Can't even pretend to slouch. Almost hurts me. There we go. Good. Doing great. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to stretch out the lower back. Ready? All right. So you're going to want to scooch forward on whatever chair you're sitting on, right? Now, the reason we do this and we sit sort of on the edges when we do some of the lower body stuff is we don't want the chair digging in to anywhere that it might cut off circulation, okay? So here's what we're going to do. First thing, 2 stages, right? So first stage, we're going to try to get the elbows to the knees while keeping the back straight, okay? So now we come down. So now you're feeling the stretch already in the back, right? Perfect. And now from here, we're going to run down the side of the legs. Let that back bend. And we relax. That's it. Good job. You guys are doing great. Now remember, hands come up, support the back, bring those shoulders up, and then we sit up straight, right? We don't want that back that's bent and stretched to have to lift the entire weight of your upper body, right? So that's what we want to do. Doing great. How'd that feel? Good? Usually does. I know, there's certain areas of the body that really they hold a lot of our stress. The lower back is one of them. The shoulders is one of them, right? And all of our stress is kind of sitting. That's why we use the term we have strong shoulders, right? We bear a lot of the stress on our body. We don't think it. I mean, you could be not having to physically work all day, but still be stressed to the point that you have physical pain. Stress manifests itself in your body. So do not feel bad about that and do not be tricked by it, right? So the lower back is one of those spots that tenses up, right? So we come here. Good. We relax. Now we slide ourselves down. Nice. Good job. And arms back up. Support the shoulders. And back up. Now, the good news is, yes, stress can affect your body. But your body is an incredible machine, right? No matter what stage of health or fitness you might be at, you have to understand what an amazing machine your body really is, right? I mean, all the organs that are working, all the blood that's pumping, the breathing, your brain working, all of these things are happening without you doing anything about it, right? They're just going on doing their own thing. Your body will respond to the stresses you put under it, good and bad, right? So yes, when you're overly stressed, your body will have certain aches and pains. But when you work out the body and you exercise the body and you walk, that's what it wants to do. And it's going to respond to that. It's going to release the bad stress, all that tension, and kind of replace it with mobility and health. It's what it wants to do. It's what it's designed to do. All right, so now enough of that. We're going to do some glute stretching, okay? So it's going to run right along here. We're going to do one leg at a time, okay? So you bring the leg up, good, back straight, perfect. So right here, where you want to feel it is running from right about here, so just under the belt line, up and a little bit to about here, okay? So we're going to have our nice calm position, back straight, and now we're going to lean forward, and you're going to feel that right here. Keep that back straight. The minute you bend that back, you won't feel it. It's all about keeping so many things on the lower body. You really got to focus on keeping the back straight. So if you're not feeling the stretch, forget about bending forward. Focus on getting straighter. Oh, maybe I'm not straight enough, right? That's your first step. If you're as straight as you can possibly get, then yes. Then you got to lean forward, right? But a lot of people, what they do is they do this. You see they have their back a little bit bent, and then they keep pushing themselves forward. But that creates uneven tension in the places we're trying to stretch, right? We want it to be stretched from both ends. So we need to get that pull. This leg, being in this position, is putting the tension on the bottom part. We got to pull that back up straight to get that other side up, right? There we go. And then we're going to stretch. There we go. We relax into that stretch, right? Let it sink in a bit. Good. Perfect. You want to try 2 more? Okay. Well, 1 more. Per leg equals 2. I still only had 1 copy, so. All right, let me get it in nice and tight, and we relax now. And you're going to notice if you did the first one right, the second one you'd be a little bit deeper. And that's great. That's why we do 2. Good. And we sit back up straight. Remember, we always release slowly. Good. Up straight. Forward. Good. And if you have one side that's better than the other, that's okay too. That's expected. Right? Very few people are perfectly symmetrical on either side. Right? All right, so now we're going to work on the hamstrings. So here we go. Hamstrings is one of those ones where it's incredibly essential, okay? So when it comes to the lower body, you got to figure the hamstring section is pretty much the highway for everything to go down to the lower body, right? Your nerves run down here through the hip, down the and just run along the hamstring, right? So if that's going to be tight, you can have, I mean, this is good for sciatic pain. This is good for blood flow. That's why when you do a stretch properly, when you do a hamstring stretch properly, you're going to feel the tingling right down into your toes. Right? So it is essential that you do this one. If you have only time, let's say, I'm running short on time, I got time for 1 leg stretch. Whether it be the ankles, the calves, or the hamstring, you pick the hamstring every time. All right? Because it's key. It's the highway. All right? So, toe up. Now, if you notice, I'm way up on that chair. Because of the angle of the chair, if I sit back, and I'll let you see the chair, even though a comically small stool, see, if I'm sitting back, you see how it digs in right there? That's a lot of discomfort. Now, if I try to push, it's really going to hurt, okay? So scooch forward or turn your angle. Maybe you got to turn your angle. Maybe you got to kind of get one cheek on there, right? Make sure you're stable and make sure you are not pushing up into the back of the leg, all right? So, back straight as always. So remember, key is the back straight. If you're not feeling the stretch, your back's not straight enough. I promise you, right? Start with that. Okay, you're focused. You're as stretched as you can be. You're as straight as you can get. Perfect. And now we're going to lean forward slowly. We're going to use the other leg as a guide, as a support. Right? You don't use this leg. Because this leg, you see the angle of it? It's going to encourage me to dip down to run along it. We use the high leg. We're not running down, we're running across, right? So I'm not leaning down, I'm leaning forward. And now I'm pulling up. There you go. And you're going to feel it all the way right to those toes. You might feel it in your back too. That's okay. Good, that's what we want. Perfect. That was a good one. All right, here we go again, right? Back straight. So, remember, back straight, shoulders back helps with the back straight. Right? This, you see, automatically encourages the shoulders and rounding of the back. Shoulders back helps with that back straight. All right, good. And we slide forward. Nice. Nice tight hamstring pull. Now, if you barely move forward, if you sit up straight and you feel the pull already, that's fine. Right? Because, again, 7 billion people in the world, no 2 are the same. But the key is that we try. Good. All right, other side. Do the best that we can within the parameters of our body. Remember, once we get there, guys, now you're gonna, that stretch reflex, remember now, you're gonna pull, and if you pay attention to your body, your whole body's gonna be tense. Your whole leg's gonna be squeezing right now. Relax that leg. There we go. All right, and once you relax that leg, you might be able to get a little bit deeper. So we finger, right? Finger crawl. Good. All right, other side. So I'll show you what I mean by finger crawl when I do this, okay? So up, we go in, right? Now you might be tight. Relax that leg now. Relax that leg. Let go of that tension. Good. And now you're going to notice the stretch a little bit looser. Literally finger crawl. Pull yourself forward by your fingertips. Great. Just like that, we're done. Nice. So those hamstrings are done. Super important, guys. The hamstrings are key to getting it done. It's very, very important. Everything lower body, this is the highway, right? So let's get these stretched out. They're going to make you feel better. You relieve stress, increase mobility. Going to be fantastic. So we're going to do our ankle circles, which at the same time, we're going to get a bit of a calf stretch in, okay? This is what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is I want you to pull your toe up as high as you can. Yep, I know. It's weird. Now, if you're pulling, you should feel some stretch down at the bottom, okay? If not, because we're all different, if you feel no stretch, we got one for you after we do the ankle circles. I'll show you the modified one to do to stretch out your calves, okay? So let's do some big circles, huge, slow, really intense, really stretched out ankle circles. And as you come up, you can feel that calf stretching. Good. We only need 5 of these big ones. Other way. Good. Nice. Great. All right, other foot. Big and deep. There we go. Good job. You guys are doing great. Remember, keep your back straight. Now, if you are slouching a bit, don't worry too much. It's not going to affect your ankle. Right? This is the one time. But we try to encourage that because the more you don't realize that just sitting up straight is exercising the muscles in your lower back. Right? If you were to try eating supper, I know it's going to be weird because we're so used to hunched over the plate because God forbid it all spills. But if you were to sit back and eat, you will notice your eating experience will be different. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a modified calf stretch. So I'm going to get this because I don't have another chair down here. But ideally, you would get a chair or something that has a rung. So you see how I can keep my foot elevated here, right? So if you have the rung of a chair, maybe you have a kind of something high on the table, but you want it to be high enough so that it's not down like this, right? It's got to be high enough that you can get a good angle on it, right? So now you see I can kind of accentuate that lift of my foot and use the chair or table or whatever it is to keep that up. And right away, just leaning into that slightly, you're going to feel that calf stretch. Now, be careful. Don't push too hard because in a position like this, you're going to activate some knee pressure. Do not push too hard, right? We just want to get it into that position and hold it there, right? And relax. So whenever we do stretches, there's not a competition. It's not a workout. You're not pushing to get the last 10 in, right? You're not forcing yourself to get it done because I know when we exercise, we want to succeed, right? So we're going to do 10 and we'll get to 8 and we're tired and we'll grunt out those last 2. Man, even if they don't look good, we're still gonna grunt them out, right? Fine, no problem. That's a very different situation. When you're stretching, you're putting yourself into a semi-compromised position, right? You are stretching ligaments, muscles, and tendons in your body to essentially their limit, right? And when we do that, you don't want to push it. Okay? It's about relaxing. It's about relaxation, chilling out, having a good time. All right? So we've done the whole body. Remember, guys, if there's ever anything that you want me to focus on and say, hey, Kristen, you know, I'm getting a little bit issue, whatever, my elbow, or I have some in my back, my upper back between my shoulder blades, maybe I got some chest tension, right? Throw it out there, because obviously I'm doing stretches that cover a bunch of different areas as we go along. I try to mix it up so that we get a bit of a taste of everything. So maybe you'll find one that you really, really love and you're going to stick to it. But if there's anything specific, you let me know. You shoot me a message. You can throw a comment in on this video and really let me know where you want to focus. And other than that, guys, share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot and it helps you out to find out when our next video is going to be. And that's it. Have yourself a great day. Go out and enjoy the weather no matter how crappy it is. All right? Have a good day, everybody. Bye.